Our presentation is on speech-to-speech translation. Speech-to-speech translation is the process by which conversation spoken phrases are instantly translated and spoken out loud in a second language. It enables interpersonal communication via natural spoken language for people who do not share a common language. It essentially bridges the language barrier. According to Gartner's Hype Cycle, speech-to-speech translation is in the peak of inflated expectation stage and is expected to reach its plateau in 2 to 5 years. Speech to speech translation begins with speech input into a device, then the speech recognition function converts spoken words into text. The machine translation function translates the text into another language. This leads to the speech synthesis function, which converts the text back into audible speech and sends the sound signal to the speaker.
One example of a speech-to-speech translation technology is an online speech translation software specifically designed for hospitals, medical offices, caregivers, and institutions for the aged. This software creates real-time voice translation as people speak, plus text translation in 78 languages. This can be used on many devices such as smartphones, tablets, laptops, glasses, desktops, and wall monitors. The components of the software include microphone and headset, automated translation software, speech recognition, text to speech, parrots, and human interpreters. Speech-to-speech technology use business drivers to promote and improve their technology for their consumers. It is currently high in demand for the healthcare industry because it allows better communication between the provider and the patient. Technology is also on the rise and constantly evolving. Technology such as this would revolutionize the healthcare industry with more opportunities for those who struggle with language barriers.
Speech-to-speech translation has many advantages, such as reducing costs. Speech-to-speech translation has the ability to reduce the cost in hospitals and providers by eliminating translators and also increasing productivity. Reduce administrative and staff burden. There are limited translators in some healthcare organizations, especially on an immediate basis, and a translator can take up to 25 minutes to arrive. With speech-to-speech translation, this will reduce the wait time and lessen the burden on staff members. Increase quality and accuracy. The accuracy of the translation will be improved. So, for example, if a patient and a physician are sitting together side by side having a conversation that is being recorded in both languages on a screen, they can see if there is a mistake. Mobility. Instead of hospitals waiting around for an interpreter, this technology will already be there ready to use. This will decrease wait times for patients as well. Clinical applications. With speech-to-speech translation, a physician will have two records to look at, one in the patient's language and a translated version. This will allow the physician to see whether or not the questions are actually understood by both the patient and translator. Electronic database. This is easily accessible and will not get easily lost, such as paper documents. Some of the disadvantages of speech-to-speech translation are background noise interference. If there is any type of noise discovered in the background of a room, the number of errors will increase. Also, the microphone must be used close to the user or the distance of the use will increase the number of errors. Programming. All words and phrases must be pre-programmed or pre-recorded, and the user can only say what has been pre-programmed. Training system. You must train the system to recognize accents and differences in pronunciations. Accents and speech recognition. The user must learn to talk consistently and clearly at all times to minimize errors. Mumbling, talking too fast, or running words into each other results in the software not being able to cope. It also will have a hard time interpreting accents or any type of voice changes, such as having a cough, cold, sinus, or throat problems. Time and productivity. It is time consuming because you must review and edit any errors. It slows down workflow until everything is up to speed, and the user must also take time to learn the system. Cost. It is expensive to set up. The software is costly, it needs high memory, and it needs a good program to operate successfully. Also, there are future technology upgrades and maintenance costs as well. Idiomatic expressions. Exact translations of American sayings will not translate or make sense when translated into another language. For example, if you were to say kick the bucket into Google Translator, they won't know that we mean to die. It will literally translate as kick the bucket. And verification of records as well.
A case study we found that pertains to speech translation has to do with the device called S-Minds, which stands for Speaking Multilingual Interactive Natural Dialogue System by Fluential Incorporated. This device was built with speech recognition and translation content. Language barriers in the medical field are common, but when a patient doesn't speak English and is suffering from a chronic disease and needs consistent treatment, they need to be able to communicate with their physician and vice versa. This device was evaluated for accuracy and patient satisfaction. It was tested with English-speaking doctors and Spanish-speaking patients with diabetes and a limited proficiency in English. After some testing, the conclusion of this case study was that the S-Minds device was highly accurate and also produced high patient satisfaction rates. The accuracy of the translations ranged from 97 to 100%, and the patient satisfaction ranged from 4.7 to 4.9 out of 5.0. This device worked very well with fast speech utterances, quiet and noisy conditions, and speech disfluencies such as fillers like stutters, long pauses, repairs, and false starts. Again, the conclusion of this case study was that the device performed extremely well in clinical scenarios, is highly accurate, and has high patient satisfaction rates. Speech-to-speech translation technology strives to bridge the language barrier between patient and provider. It allows people to communicate in different languages while increasing the quality and accuracy of care because it reduces the amount of obstacles a physician or doctor would have to face when providing care for a non-English or limited English-speaking patient. It would reduce the cost of a physical translator, which would be cutting out the middleman. It would also be easily accessible and utilized if this technology was available to everyone. Overall, speech-to-speech translation technology would be extremely beneficial for doctors and patients, creating a better healthcare industry.